I'm not going to mention any names to avoid problems, but this happened to me in 2025, and honestly, it's something I really regret. Back then, I used to work at a pizzeria. Honestly, the pay wasn't very good, but the job was cool. I got along well with people, and even though I didn't have a lot of money, I was getting by. The problem was that I started making some pretty dumb decisions. First, I got into debt for a motorcycle, and honestly, it was a good bike. I liked it a lot because it was something I got through hard work, and I felt like I was making progress little by little. Then I got the idea to trade it for a truck because I thought it would be better. Honestly, that was one of the worst decisions I ever made. That truck only brought me problems. Between repairs and expenses, I lost everything and ended up without the motorcycle or the truck. I had to get another motorcycle because I needed it to get around, but now I had to make 2 payments a week. Because of that, I went to work somewhere else where I earned more, but the hours were long. There were days when I felt like I was only working to pay off debts. While I handled that, my brother had problems too. The difference was that he had already been thinking about getting into and well, you know how bad influences are. They begin by assuring you nothing will happen, there's money, and everything's fine, gradually drawing you in. He ended up with the people from the 4. You know which letters come next. When I found out, honestly, I didn't think much about it. I went to someone I knew and told him I wanted to go with my brother, just like that. They didn't really ask me much. One day they put us in a truck and took us out of state. I still remember that because the farther we went, the fewer familiar things I saw. It was just wilderness everywhere. There were makeshift places, people coming and going, and from the very first days I started to realize that a lot of things weren't as they seemed. Honestly, the money they pay you ends up coming back one way or another. Supplies are sold to you at higher prices. Some people end up spending on substances. Before you know it, you have less than you thought, and there are always problems there. There's always someone fighting with someone else. You always have to watch who's looking at you, who's in a bad mood, who's got problems. It gets to a point where you get used to living like that. But that doesn't mean it's a good life. Of everything I went through over there, there's something I'll never forget. One day my mom came to visit us, and I still remember that when a mom arrives, the staff themselves say something like,
"Hug each other."
A mom just arrived.
It sounds simple, but when you're far from home and your family, hearing something like that hits different. Honestly, seeing my mom there was one of the best things that could have happened to me. I don't know how to explain it. As soon as I saw her, I remembered everything. Of my home, my family, all the time she supported me, and you realize how much a mother's love is worth. But what stuck with me the most happened a few minutes later. My brother, who since he was a kid wanted to be like me, who always talked about that life and said that's what he wanted for his future, looked at my mom and said,
"Mom, I want to go home now."
I still remember those words. Because when I heard them, I didn't know what to say. I just kept thinking, if he, who was the one who had always wanted to be there, was saying that, then things weren't as he imagined. And the only thought that crossed my mind was this: I have to take care of my brother. I have to do whatever I can so that at least he gets out of here alive. Time went by, and it passed faster than it seems when you talk about it, until about a year had gone by. One day they told us we could leave. Honestly, we didn't believe it. I even thought they were going to kill us. I thought something bad would happen, like it was a trap. But no, they just let us go. Nowadays I work as a delivery man. My brother works too. We don't make much money. We don't have luxuries. We don't have expensive cars. But we're with our family, and believe me, that's worth much more. Because it's one thing to see your mom smiling when you get home after work, and it's something very different to see her crying because of the decisions you made. That's why I always say the same thing when I hear people romanticize that life. It's not like they make it seem. The cars, the money, and the women are just the bait they use to lure people in. What they don't tell you is everything else. What you lose, what you risk, and the regret that many people end up carrying for years. I had the chance to get out along with my brother, and that's why I can say that I prefer to earn less, work honestly, and come back to my family every day, rather than go through something again that honestly isn't worth it.